Hello there and welcome to Cansanity. It's another beautiful day here in southern Ontario, and so I thought I would take my plants out to get a little bit of sunshine and a little bit of wind. Now, the first day that I brought them outside was about 4 days ago, and I put my plants in an area of my yard that was full shade and no wind. So that was the day one of hardening off my plants. The next day I brought them out and I provided them with a little bit of dappled sunshine and a little bit of wind. And I had the plants out for 2 hours. The first day 1 hour and then the second day 2 hours. And when you're hardening off your plants, you'll gradually add more time and more sun and wind exposure to the plants, to the point that after 7 days they've been outside for 7 hours in the daytime. And that's basically how you harden off your plants. Now, if you're in an area, if you started your plants early and you're not able to get your plants out because you feel it's too cold, and you want to start to provide a little bit of wind to help strengthen your plants, then you can put a fan in the room that you have your seedlings in. But be careful not to just put the fan on and leave it, because by having that fan run over top of your plants, you're also drying out the soil. So you want to make sure that while your seedlings are small, that you provide the container that they're in does not dry out completely, and that the soil remains damp. So I brought my plants out 4 days ago, and this is day 4 of hardening off my plants. They're in various stages. So I have my basil here in the full sun, because it has been day 4 for those plants. Actually, it's been a couple more days for that. And then I have my peppers at the back here that they have dappled sun right now. And so you can bring your plants out in different stages. Just make sure that when you provide the exposure, that it's appropriate for the plant and where it's at in the hardening off process. So you might see that I have some large basil plants and some large parsley plants. And the reason why I have such big plants is I did go to the nursery to pick up some plants to get started for the season. It's mid-April here, and I can't wait to get into my garden and harvest my herbs for my cooking. And so I always start off by buying a few plants from the nursery so that I can get some fresh herbs as soon as possible for my recipes. Now, I have started some of these plants from seed, and they haven't come up yet, but I use those herbs that I've started from seed in my fall cooking and canning. And I do a ton of canning in the fall, and so I do need a lot of herbs. And so just like the vegetables that I plant, I do plant a couple of parsley and basil plants about every 6 weeks, so that I have a continuous supply of those herbs, just like I do with my vegetables. Basil in particular, you do want to do that if you want to enjoy some nice fall basil. Basil, as it matures, loses its flavor. It doesn't, or changes, the flavor changes in the leaves, and so it's really recommended to start some basil in, say, July in your garden, so that you can use it for your fall cooking and your fall herbs. Parsley, it's a fabulous plant to pick up if you're going to pick it up at a nursery. It's easy to grow, and you can put it in if you put it in a pot that's about 12 inches in diameter. It's a biannual, so it will come up the following year. If you're going to keep it outside, put it in a protected area of your yard, or even put it in your garage over the winter and bring it out in the spring. I do have parsley, like I said, in my garden growing, and it's already up, and so we'll be excited when that's ready, when I can harvest that as well. I also, when I bring out my plants for in the hardening off process, this is a good time to really give your plants a good soaking of water. If they're inside and you're watering them, you're not as likely to really soak the pots because you don't want water everywhere. So we bring our pots out and we put them in a container like this that doesn't have any other plants yet, or even on the ground, on the grass, and we give it a really good soaking. So yeah, I'd recommend doing that when you're doing your hardening off of your plants as well. So I think that's all I wanted to say about hardening off your plants. I hope you enjoy your day.